Welcome to Chamber Exchange, a TV show. My name is Tim Murray, President and CEO of the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce. And Chamber Exchange, a TV show, is an opportunity for us to bring on guests who are making a difference and having economic impact here in Central Massachusetts. Also, I want to thank our sponsors who make the show happen, Bank Hometown, and as we get ready to drop the puck for the hockey season, the Worcester Railers Hockey Club join us once again as a sponsor. I'm thrilled to have with us in this segment Brent Maugel, who's the founder and president of Maugel Architects. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Well,
Pleasure
Brent,
to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here, and maybe we could start. Tell us a little bit about Maugel Architects and some of the work that you've done in the greater Worcester region.
Sure, happy to do that. I don't want to turn this into an advertisement,
Yeah,
but
well,
I know people
kind
want to
of
know
what it is,
a
yeah.
little bit about who we are and what we've done. We're about 30 years old in our since we founded the company. We started out as a one-man shop in Melrose, moved to Concord, Mass, moved to Harvard, Mass, so now we're in
You're
Worcester
coming
County.
west, right? You're Worcester
And I
County
keep
on the
saying
line with
sooner or later,
Middlesex.
sooner or later we'll be in Worcester proper. We've got 40 people at 2 offices, one in Harvard and one in beautiful downtown Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. And we do primarily private sector work, but if anybody looks at our portfolio, you see the depth and breadth of it. We just have got a very, very diverse portfolio. Our specialty is in the projects that cost between $5 million and $25 million to build. Mm-hmm. Which represents in an annual period, something like $150 million worth of construction. So we've been very fortunate to have some really significant projects under our belt. And we're really a little bit different design firm than most in that we like to think of ourselves as advocates of our clients. So we really join their company when we do some work for them. And that's ended up with some real good results and relationships with clients over many, many years.
Yeah, that's probably extremely important concept that you just described, in the sense that many companies that are building or growing, engaged in new construction or adding on, probably they're focused on a day-to-day basis of delivering a service or a good, and so construction is not their bailiwick, and having somebody to kind of guide them through the design and architectural piece, but then all the way through probably makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Many times we find out that they being a client, don't necessarily know what their needs are. So needs assessment. Actually, the things that happen before pencil meets the paper, although nobody uses pencils anymore, but before design begins, that's usually the measure of the success of the project, finding out what the person or the client really needs and what their objectives are, and sometimes they need help knowing what that is.
Yeah, well, this here in the Commonwealth and large parts of the state, a lot of economic activity, a lot of commercial activity. What are you seeing out there with the demand? Certainly we hear about products and supply chain issues. What are you seeing out there?
Well, it is a disruptive time. It's a dynamic time, but it's also a very exciting time because there's so much challenges and opportunities. So on the challenges side, I would say that, well, first of all, architects are sometimes, like civil engineers, are sometimes viewed as the canary in a coal mine. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that can predict what's going to happen economically down the pike. And we are as busy as we've ever been. We've got the longest backlog we've ever had. So we're basically preaching good news that the economy is rebounding very robustly, and everybody's busy. The challenge to that is we're having trouble finding talent. So this is my advertisement, or my outreach, if I will. If anybody's looking to advance their career in a design field, please give us a call. We're 40 people. We really should be at about 50 people. So we're actively looking for that. The activities we're finding are in the labs, repurposing of buildings. We're doing a large 120,000 square foot, what used to be a semiconductor lab. We're turning that into a lab-ready facility here in Worcester. And so lab readiness is a big deal. Multifamily housing is huge right now, and we think it has legs. We think it'll be 3 to 5 years before inventory is where it should be. As you probably know, the state has a new housing initiative that's targeting 135,000 new units by 2025. So that's a lot of our activity. We do healthcare. That, of course, is changing because of the pandemic and what the hospitals have gone through, but it's still an active part of our portfolio. We do single-family residences on the coast and lakes regions up north, primarily done out of the Portsmouth office. So we're
a real breadth of, what work.
But each of those segments, and including industrial, because as you know, with the Amazon phenomenon, they need last mile distribution centers. So industrial buildings are hot right now too.
Yeah, we see that, particularly here in central Massachusetts, given our location, central to all of New England, the road and the rail network, and that's a good thing in terms of expanding the commercial industrial tax base in central Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Certainly, one of the things as you try to address supply chain issues, but also, work with clients is technologies, products. How do you stay current and kind of keeping track of building materials and integrating the newest technologies and products?
That's a great question. I turn it back to my people. We're very careful about how we hire. We try to hire self-motivated people to begin with. And we have a lot of youth in our firm, and they are just eager about new technology because it changes every year, and it's so exciting every year. So we're making great use out of what we have coined the phrase virtual architecture or virtual reality architecture. And this serves the client well because we're now capable of sitting in a meeting like if you were renovating this building, and on the computer we can live design and show you in 3 dimensions your cubicle layout, change it from 6 by 6 to 8 by 8. We can go show much detail as to show your the pencil door, or then these days your mouse pad. So that technology has really helped a client understand what they're getting in the end when it's built,
right.
And it takes all the uncertainty out of it. So clients aren't feeling at risk. We don't really know what this is going to be like when it's done. Well, you do, because we can show you a picture from any angle of the outside of the building, inside of the building, anything you want. So technology is big. Other opportunities that we're taking advantage of are actually making contributions to sustainability. I think the general populace, including our clients and developers, are finally realizing there's a social obligation to using renewable resources and to reducing the carbon footprint. So that is, there's a grassroots effort now that's supporting that. It used to be, hey, I can't afford it. And now they're saying, we'll make it work.
And 2 things. You mentioned kind of the challenges with attracting talent for your company. Oftentimes people want to know what type of sustainable practices, green practices that the company they may prospectively go to work for are embracing or utilizing. The other thing is, as serious conversations grow about climate change, oftentimes some of the biggest polluters are buildings.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be, I think, an increased focus. We're seeing it in different parts of the country now about architect, design, construction. How do they address those issues?
We had a little informal design shred on a project yesterday. It happened to be a housing project in Worcester that's on the books, just in the design phase. And we were showing precedents, and we found a building that's being built in a rain screen. I won't go into the technology of what that is, but the facade of the building is actually solar panels. So rather than just solar panels on the roof, there's a whole building of solar panels. So yeah, times are changing. It's pretty cool.
No, without a doubt. Well, Brent, we just got a minute left. If there's a business out there, homeowner too, you described the breadth of work that you do, wants to get in touch, learn more, website, call, how do they get in touch?
Yeah, it's just Maugel.com, Maugel. We don't know the heritage of that spelling, but I'm sure it changed to Ellis Island. Maugel.com. Okay. And you can reach out to Robin Peters there or me. Happy to talk with anybody, and appreciate your time here.
No, thanks for being with us. Brent Maugel, president founder of Maugel Architects, doing a lot of work here in Worcester, in Harvard and Worcester County, right on the line with Middlesex, so doing work in New Hampshire.
Hey, one more thing, if I may.
Absolutely.
We talked earlier about Littleton. I have 2 boys, 2 grandsons that play on the Littleton High School football team.
All right.
And they're playing at Polar Field on Sunday, so they are out of their minds excited about coming out here to play.
That's awesome.
in that
it looks like their grandfather's pretty happy as well.
Oh yeah, we love it.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, be with us. We're going to come right back for the next segment of Chamber Exchange, the TV show.
These days, you've got your hands full in life. That's why we help you bank simply and securely with tools like Face ID and Touch ID. It's why we make it easy to make purchases on the go and get cash back while you're at it. why we help you quickly deposit checks wherever you are. And it's why we lend a hand with sending and receiving money right from your phone. So even when you're on the move, you can manage your finances. Bank Hometown. Unlock your potential.
Being associated with the Railers and being a part has been awesome, and it's been a lot of fun.
I think my students' initial reactions is my favorite part. Their eyes get really wide and they're in awe.
And then you have the excitement of hockey, and you have that anticipation in the air. You know, the crowd getting into it. It's fun.